When I stepped out of the pulpit last week, I kind of figured, well, we'd had a really bad week and now the worst was over, but then it got worse. It seems that the world is just in a little bit of turmoil. It's a hot summer up north, that's all I can say. And as the predictions go, the next couple of weeks, months, will bring more bad news. There's always plenty good, bad news. You want to look for bad news, you don't have to look far. Why is that?
It tickles our ears.
Yeah, but why? Good heavens. Yeah. Show of hands, how many of you really want to hear bad news? I rest my case. How many of you would like to hear some good news? Okay. See, see the problem here? It seems to be there's this really strange alternate universe that all of us are living in. We all long from the depth of our hearts to hear some good news, to hear that things have gone well, to see that all is well. And instead, we keep hearing the opposite, the reassurance that, you know what, there's a lot of stuff that just goes the other way. And just keeps piling on again and again. And it's, almost, well, what was the old saying? Those who don't study history are condemned to repeat it. I think that is wrong. Those who don't study history are condemned to watch helplessly by the sideline as it is repeated before their eyes. It's more accurate, I think. And here we are. Did you want to say something?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I think people don't want to hear good news because they have to think about it. It's easier to hear good news. You don't have to think about it.
Bad news. It's easier to hear bad news.
She's telling the news. Let her say what she wants.
You know what?
We just confessed that we were in bondage to sin.
There you go. This is where
Sin and the devil is a liar.
There you are. This is kind of the state of the world. It is in bondage to sin. And as what Jesus would say, the Lord of this world is this darkness, this dark creature that loves to lie. And this is most certainly the state of the world. Whatever bad news you and I hear is probably being celebrated somewhere else too. So we got to be careful here. But that is all because, frankly, we are in a place that has a lot of dark stuff in it. And to be very frank, you and I are probably part of the dark stuff now and again too. Just somewhere in this lifetime, you have been bad news to somebody. I'm just saying it to you. Yes, somewhere in this lifetime, you've been good news to somebody. And unfortunately, this is most deeply the reality of life. The Samaritan, when he walked by the road, was probably good news to the guy whom he found. Now, it could be that he was bad news. Who knows what this guy was doing? There's always the alternative universes that you can kind of think about and speculate about. In some universe, I love to think about what would have happened if instead of Martha getting up and talking to Jesus about Mary not helping her, Mary had gotten up and had talked to Jesus about Martha not shutting up and listening. How would that have gone? Somebody's good news and somebody's bad news. And somehow this is just kind of the state as it is. Somebody's good work is somebody else's nuisance. There's so many things that get lost in the work of reading the Gospels. This is one of those days where it might be important to remember that the story that we read from the Old Testament is how hospitality was supposed to was supposed to work. The old patriarch, the grandpa of the house, was supposed to go out and beg the visitor to please stay. And the women would then go prepare the meal, and he would actually carry it out and serve it. That's how it was supposed to be. And then there's this little line in the gospel that says that Martha extended hospitality to Jesus. So she already doing something radical there. Just as radical as Mary, who sat at his feet and listened, which was probably not the way things went normally, but it went in this time, in these days. So you have a unique and weird little meeting between Jesus and this house in Bethany, where he is to go and teach. You have the strange meeting under this oak somewhere in the middle of nowhere. You know, we were debating how to pronounce army this morning. And you know, I was kind of saying, why don't you make it do Carlisle? It works just as well. Are there any oaks in this neighborhood? They're kind of rare around here. Probably should have made it the maple by Donaldsville. You know, I mean, the sycamore in New Carlisle. There is a strange piece in that scene at the oak. Abraham, in a hunch that he knows what he is looking at and who is visited, is being the host to God and is carried through his devotion to the God who has called him out of Ur so many years ago. Abraham is being the host to God. Let that sink in for a moment. Abraham is being the host to the God Most High. Abraham, as the story unfolds, is the host to God Most High. And if you extend hospitality to somebody, you certainly have a right in these olden days to beg favors of those to whom you gave hospitality to. Abraham is the host to God Most High, and God Most High is about to go and annihilate Sodom and Gomorrah. And who begs for mercy on Sodom and Gomorrah? Abraham. He begs tirelessly. What if he found 50 good people there? What if he found 30 good people? You found 30 good people. What if he found 20 good people? What if he found 10? Abraham was the host to God. Abraham is the one who pleads with God to please relent of all the evil that's being visited upon this earth. Abraham, Martha, Mary, hosts to the God Most High. You know what I'm going to ask next. Are you in these days? There ain't any worse than Sodom and Gomorrah, I tell you that right now. Are you host to the God Most High in any way, shape, or form? Be that by quietly listening for his still small voice, be that by extending hospitality when God is found, be that by interceding with God on behalf of this world that is ever so much in trouble. How many of us this week, when we heard the worst of news, reacted to it immediately by praying? Slowly, some hands come up. At that point, it is time that the people of God plead for this world, who is the Lord of this world, by whom and for whom it was made. Gracious Heavenly Father, let there be let there be peace. Let there be understanding. Let there be hospitality between people. Let the violence that is so ceaseless and so dark, let it end. Somebody must do this. You do realize you're those somebodies? I know you can only do so much. I'm very much aware that if you live just outside, New Carlisle, Ohio, or somewhere in the heart of Fairborn, there's only so much you can do physically right then, right there. But one of those things is more universal than maybe you give it credit for, and that is to speak to the Lord as one who extends hospitality and pleads. You can do that, can't you? It is our privilege and it is our joy. It is, as we say, right, meet, and salutary that we at all times in all places call upon this God Most High and beg Him to bring His kingdom, to bring His rule, and bring it soon.